finished her lashes. When I finished her lashes, she's like, these are too much. Like, it was classic. And I was like, there's like 12 lashes on your eyes. Like, no, I don't want you to take them off. Like, I'm not gonna pay for them. For me, it was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean you're gonna pay for them?
Welcome back to another episode of Glam Gossip by LLBA Podcast. I'm your host Puja, and today we are talking all about nails. Today's topic is how to start your own nail salon, and we've brought over a very talented, very experienced nail tech for you today. So I'd like to introduce our lovely guest, Jaliza.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming.
No problem.
And it finally worked out.
Right? I know. It finally worked out. So yes, my name is Jaliza again. I'm the owner of the Dream Dollhouse. I've been doing nails now for about 7 years. I do waxing, I do nails, toes, stuff like that. I also offer training too, but with my schedule it's kind of hard to get that training time in there. But yeah, that's kind of me. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the nail business?
So I've been in the nail business now for 7 years. So I started when my son was a few months, like almost one, I would say, call it one. And I started more because I couldn't work with my son, like the schedule for my job and like his daycare and stuff like that would not work. So
Right.
I had a friend of mine and she was like, why don't you just do nails, you know, like why don't you just pick up, because I was kind of playing with it before in a salon, but it honestly wasn't gonna do well for me there. So I tried to, you know, not do it anymore, and she was like, girl, pick it back up, do nails. And that's what landed me in the nail industry.
What got you like first interested in nails? Was it like the artistic, creative aspect, or was it just like something fun that you like to do as a hobby, and then it grew from there?
Kind of. So I actually started getting my nails done when I was, don't tell anybody, but 11. And yeah, there was a little nail shop.
Must be nice.
I know, and that was the $25 set days, right? So I would go down the street and get like little short, cute nails, and my dad would be like, you're not allowed to have nails. You're too young, girl. I used to walk around the house with gloves on, trying to hide my nails from him, because he was like, if I see your nails, they're coming off. So I feel like once I started like doing my nails and seeing the cute Frenchies, and I used to get little flowers and stuff, that kind of like interested me into like getting into nails. But yeah, when I actually picked up the brush and I tried it, girl, it was not it was not fun, but I pushed through, so yeah.
Okay, so like you had to basically go to a school or get certified in some way. Like there's a process to kind of like learning. Can you tell us a bit about like your educational background, like how you learned the skills and the techniques?
Yeah, so I originally went to Bryan College to do nails, but the thing is that it was really informative, it was good, but it focuses more on the natural nails. And a lot of times people think that when you go to school for nails, you're going to learn acrylic nails, right? Or you might learn like fake nails or whatever. It could be acrylic, gel, whatever. But you don't really. You learn more of like the anatomy of the nail, right? So I had to outsource and take a training with an artist that he's still really good right now. But at the time he started offering the training.
You were going to say he was really good looking.
No, girl. But no, it was like, you know, at the time he was offering the trainings, and his trainings were for like 5 days. And nobody else in Toronto were offering 5-day trainings. So I went with him and I did the art, and after that he kind of opened up my eyes, and he was kind of like a dad in a way. He was like, no, you're good, you're gonna keep trying. And I cried one time, and yeah, like he was trying to make me do Mickey Mouse, and I was like, this is yeah. So that's how I kind of got the knowledge, was morely from school, was the natural nails. So that's why I feel like I'm pretty good at manicures and pedicures and stuff, and understanding like the growth of the nail. And then now I also have the knowledge of the foundation of acrylic nails and gel nails. So I'm pretty diverse when it comes to like the nail industry.
When did it like hit you like, okay, I know my shit now?
Oh, okay, so it hit me probably like 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, which when I was really looking at girls' nails at the pictures that I was taking, and I was like, that is crisp. Like, shape was really good, and shape is really hard to like overcome, and application, right? So when I started seeing, okay, it took me 4 hours, 3.5 hours. Now it's taking me an hour and a half, an hour. I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, you know? So yeah, that was kind of for me. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And like, what do you think is like the most challenging thing to do when you're doing, I guess, acrylics, right?
Yeah.
What is like the most challenging like style or design to achieve that you're like maybe most proud of?
So for me, it's like, I know that it doesn't go into the designing, but the shaping and the foundation of the nail, right? Because you can just have a nail, but if it's not, if you turn it sideways and it's flat, you're gonna be like, okay, this nail's gonna break, right? Or if it's too thin, you're like, this is not good. So I feel like that was like my biggest thing that I was proud of. And also Frenchies, like French tips.
Really?
That was very hard. People think it's so easy.
Yeah.
It is so hard. Yeah.
Really?
Because you have to get every fingernail to look the same, and it's not you're not using a stamp. Your brain just has to know, okay, arch it now. Okay, look at it. Turn it this way. It looks good. And then you go. Yeah. So those are probably the 3 things. Yeah. That was hard for me.
And like right now, do you have your own salon space now, right?
Yeah.
So like walk us through like the different spaces that you've had, like when you first started versus like when you're in school and where you are now. Yeah.
So when I was in school, I was doing home base, and that was probably for like 2.5 years. But the thing that happened with the home base was that I had gotten in trouble one time because a client didn't want to pay me. So then it was like, for me, I noticed that, hey, sometimes home base could be good, and there's the pros and the cons. And for me, the con was that not having the power to say, like, you have to give me my money, and I can call the police and they'll come and they'll, you know, when you work at home, sometimes when you call, they're kind of iffy because they don't know who's in the right and who's wrong, right? It's more of the hearsay, she say, more than when you're in a salon, they know that you're the business owner, she's a staff, you have to listen to kind of like, we're going to kind of listen to what they're saying in a way, right? It's like if I go in a store or whatever, they're going to listen to the business owner compared to the accused, you know? Yeah. So that's kind of like my biggest thing. So I was working at home, and then I was doing that, and then I moved actually to a salon probably my second year into doing it. I worked into a salon, and I was in the back of a barber shop, and it was so funny because I got it 2 weeks before Christmas. And I had to move out 3 days before Christmas because of the nail smell. So a lot of the times is like the nail technicians we have with finding space is the monomer. So the monomer is the purple liquid that we use when like applying nails and stuff. It can be very strong.
So you're getting complaints from your neighbors?
Yeah, I was getting complaints from the people in the front of the barbershop, and she was such a nice lady. She really didn't want to like kick me out.
3 days before Christmas.
But she had to, you know, because her clientele was older ladies, and they don't really like that smell too much. It was too strong for them, right? Compared to like sometimes being in a bigger salon, it wasn't a very big space. So I had to respect that and be like, okay, you know what? I'll just go. So I went back home, and then I had a friend that had a office space. And she was like, honestly, just come and work here for a bit, you know? And when she let me do that, I was working there and I was doing my thing, but the nail smell again was a problem. So I had to move. So I probably moved like 4 times over the nail smell. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really hard, but the space that I'm in now, so I'm very creative in a way, not only with nails, but like with interior designing in a way. So I, like how I said I was in the front of a store, so where I am is I'm in a showcase. So the showcase has a sliding door, but like on the outside you can kind of see it. So I made it into a nail room, so I'm closed off. So my problem was before is that I was in an open space wherever I was. So every time, even if I was in an office building, they were going to smell it because under the door and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I overcame that in a way. I'm in a really good space now. I have like so much space in my, like before I was like in a little box. Now I have like a pedicure area, I have a nail area, and like I have a desk for my assistant and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of my journey.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good for you. And like, do you want to talk us through like how did you like find these salons? Like what's the process? Because I'm sure you have to get like permits, and there's certain like regulations that you have to like take into consideration. That, you know, a lot of newcomers, they might, you know, maybe their dream is to have their own salon, but like, can you maybe explain some of the, you know, practical realities of, you know, getting your own space, getting approved? Because like, what is the process exactly? So the process,
it can be easy for some and difficult for some, right? So for me, now I can say it's getting harder to find a space, because when I first started finding spaces, a lot of landlords didn't know about nails, so they were like, "Oh, you can go take the space, that's fine." But now, because they know what it smells like, they're gonna tell you, "No, you can't be here." So what I would say is for the newcomers is to try to look for a space that has windows, good ventilation, right? Not only will it be good for the pictures, but it'll also be good for like the getting the smell out. Using double-sided fans with your windows is really good because it helps one side fresh air out for the bad. But you can also, like, that's just for staying in the space. But for finding it, it's like Kijiji. You can go on Kijiji. You can go on Craigslist. You can find a realtor. But my thing is that a lot of the realtors want to do, like, bigger commercial spaces. So they kind of might prioritize you, but it might be harder to find that. So you can just try to ask, like, a friend. What I did was I messaged somebody on Instagram. I seen that she was, like, a realtor. And I was like, hey, I just have a couple questions. So I want to, like, look for a space, but I'm having a really hard time. And I just kind of introduced myself. I kind of told her, like, my struggles, like, of what. I didn't pour my heart out, but, like, I told her. And she was like, honestly, I don't normally, but I can direct you to somebody that does. And she did. And that's kind of how I found my space, because my space that I found that I'm in now, I was actually moving out of another salon because of the same kind of reasons. And the space, like, I had like 4 days. I always have 3, 2, 1 days to do things. And I had like 4 days to move my old stuff and into the new space. And the floors, I had to rip out the floors. I had to put down new floors, paint, all that stuff in 4 days. Wow. Yeah, it was me and my boyfriend and my sister that helped me. And I did a flower wall from, like, scratch by myself. And, like, I just feel like it could be hard.
A flower wall.
Yeah, I did a flower wall by myself.
We could totally use a flower wall.
Literally, I was like, hey, I like it. But, you know, yeah, a flower wall, I did that by myself, too. And it was really good. But I can just say for the newcomers, just keep trying to find a space, you know? Like, if you don't see a space this week, doesn't mean next week don't look on Kijiji. Because every day, Kijiji runs 24 hours. You can post 24 hours. So when you're sleeping, maybe by the time you wake up, you'll find something, you know? And what I could say is with finding a space is you always want to find a space that isn't more than what you make. It's less than a quarter of what you make, right? So when I started, I would find spaces for $300, for $400, because I'm a
month?
Yeah.
Damn.
But this is, we're talking like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, right? You could find spaces. Like, I had a space on Dufferin in St. Clair. My rent was $395. I can say it now because I'm not there no more. It was $395. And it didn't bother me sometimes when I was slow, because I was building clientele. When I was slow, because I was like, hey, I can pay this rent. You don't want to get a rent that you can't pay if you're not making money off of the service, right? And essentially, you don't want to get a place if you're not making money, but sometimes it's best to work outside of the house, you know. But yeah.
Wow, cool. So it's really interesting. Like, as a business owner, you have to, like, wear so many hats. You have to be the renovator and, you know, interior director, interior designer, interior designer, and do the skill as well. Yeah. And do the nails and be the business owner. Yeah. And the, you know, IT person. Marketing.
Everything. And, like, for me, when I was getting these spaces, it was, I didn't get a bank loan. Right? I didn't get a startup.
Yeah, I was wondering, should I ask that?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you straight up. I didn't get a bank loan, right? So I still have to work during these renovations, or that half of the floor is not going to be done because we need another box of tiles, right? So I have to make sure that I'm still leveling out my clients and also making time. So what I would do is I would work in the daytime, and then in the nighttime when my clients are done at around 10, because I work like 10 to 10, at 10, I'd be like, okay, babe, like, can you come to the shop and, like, help me paint this wall? Like, so I was doing it little by little, right? So that's another thing, too. It's, like, I know it could be hard when you're looking for a space to be like, oh, I'm going to take off 4 days, but just struggle through it. I'm gonna be the real person and tell you, no, take it easy. No, you gotta it's not gonna be easy, and you can't take it easy, because if you take it easy, you're gonna get lazy and you're not gonna wanna paint the wall anymore. I'll do it later, right? So that's another thing too, is just keep working while you're finding the space and renovating the space and all that stuff.
Wow. Good for you. You started like your own business, no loan, no debt. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And okay, shifting gears a little bit. I want to go back to that story about the lady who didn't want to pay you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of stories like that. Do you want to like share like what happened there, if you feel comfortable, or like any like wild, crazy story about like a Karen?
Yeah. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, so she knew me from apparently school, right? I posted an ad on Facebook, and she replied to it. She came. Never did she once say in the message like, "Hey, girl, like, you know, you know me, right?" So when she came, she did her nails. Everything was good at the time. Like I said, I was doing nails and lashes, right? So I had a bundle, because I'm the bundle queen in Toronto. I do nails and total bundles every month, right? So I had the nails and the lashes, and I finished her nails, and I was supposed to do her lashes, which I did do. But she was kind of iffy, like in between, and I was like, okay, I don't know. Finished her lashes. When I finished her lashes, she's like, these are too much. Like, it was classic. And I was like, there's like 12 lashes on your eyes. Like, you know, because classic is a natural look, right? It's just for a little bit of like volume and a little bit of like length if you want, right? So I was like, yeah, like, if you want, like, I can take them off, but like, there's not much else. She's like, no, I don't want you to take them off. Like, I'm not gonna pay for them. For me, it was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean you're gonna pay for them? Like, what is So I'm not gonna speak too much on what happened after that, but she ended up calling the police. And because I was working from home, I was charged with forcible confinement. I'll tell you, I'm completely good now, and the charges were good. But I got in trouble. I got arrested for forcible confinement, because I was saying you can't leave until you pay. Right? Which any person in a salon, anywhere would say that. But because you're working at home, you can't force somebody to stay here. It's called forcible confinement. And that is, for me, it was really scary for me, because I was not only thinking of, like, my business, I was thinking of my child, right? Like, now I'm going to have, like, a record, and, like, forcible confinement is not good. And what if one day I want to expand and work with, like, kids or something like that? I can't do that, right? Because it's not good, right? So that was really hard for me, and I literally preached to all of my students, be careful when you're working at home, right? Because I actually am in a Facebook group, and the Facebook, like, one of the girls in the group was like, that's happened to me. And she's not even from Canada. She's from the States, right? So it can happen anywhere.
I think it happens all the time.
Yeah, right? And like I said, it was just for me, because I was at home, why I got in trouble. And because she was like, she called them first, which I made a mistake. I should have called them.
Yeah.
But I'm not used to that. I'm not used to, let me call the police. Like, I was just like, okay, can we work something out? Like, can you transfer me? She was like, I'm just going to go. Maybe I'll pay for the nails. I'll go to the bank and come back. I said, no. So that was kind of that. But that was a very, like, big lesson for me. And I feel like a lot of people wouldn't share that, because they're like, I don't want people to think I'm a bad person. But me, I knew I didn't do anything. We were together for 4 hours.
Right.
4 hours? You don't even go on a date for 4 hours. Like, I was like, this is too long. Yeah. So that was that.
Wow. So, like, what lesson did you learn from that experience? Like, do you have any policy now? Like, okay, deposit something to, like, protect yourself at this point?
So I have a deposit now, which I didn't have that before. So I have a deposit now, but it still wouldn't cover the cost of the service, right? So some of the things that I do have in place now is, like, I have cameras in my salon, records 24 hours, so I don't take any services at home. I keep a lot of conversations with, like, clients. They, if they ask me for the price before, they ask me. If they don't, right? But if they ask me, then it's like, now I have proof that I told you it's going to be this much, so you should have came here with this much, right? On my booking page, it says like, please come with cash, or if you need, I take email transfer. Not email transfer, card payments. So now there's no excuse, right? Which a lot of the times they use that as an excuse. It's like, I'll just email transfer you. And they know they've never sent you an email transfer before, so it's going to take 30 minutes. So by the time they're gone, and you're really looking at it 40 minutes in, like, where is the email transfer? That could happen, right? So I don't do email transfers anymore. I just do, like, card payments and cash and stuff like that. So that, my lesson is that always, like, protect myself if I was working at home is payments first, right? Like, at home nail technicians, payments first. It's going to seem a little bit awkward to be like, hey, you just sat down. You just got here, but can you pay first? Right? But it's to protect yourself. And maybe if you put it on your booking page, then they won't even question it. They'll know. I've gone to a lash check where she's like, first time clients, you have to pay first. And I respected it, right? She works at home. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's I think it's reasonable. Pay first. Like, a lot of different businesses have that kind of similar policy.
I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem either. Like, you're going to pay eventually. Might as well.
But it's just weird when you're sitting down and you're like, pay.
Pay me.
Yeah, you're like, hey, Jaliza, pay me.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And if they have a complaint or concern or they want a refund, then you can do it after, which is easier than trying to force somebody to, like, pay you when they just want free services.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about branding, marketing your business. How did you determine what was your target? Like, who's your target customer? How did you promote yourself to them? How did you find them? How did you, walk us through that. How did you market yourself?
So, that's something that I'm still growing with right now, because I feel like you could never have enough marketing skills and never know everything. So for that, I can say I would do, like, meetings with, like, little people.
Like freelancers?
Yeah, like, little meetings with people and be like, hey, like, how did you build, right? Like, how did you do stuff?
Okay,
and even
like
if they weren't...
peers, basically.
Exactly, but even if they weren't in my industry, right? If they were doing lashes, if they were doing whatever, as long as it was kind of in the beauty but not in the exact field, I was willing to, like, have a conversation with them. And there actually was a couple times where they were doing property and I was asking them questions, right? So it's morely being like a sponge, right? When your first years of being an entrepreneur, you need to be a sponge. You know nothing. Don't have an I know it all attitude. Go in there like, so what is that? Even if you know, like, I've worked in over 15 nail salons in Toronto, like, and literally I would be a sponge. So what is that? So what is that solution? And all that stuff, right? Trying to figure out, like, what it is, because even though I knew it, I still want to hear it out of your mouth so I know I'm right? So that was kind of for that. But also, I would look at where my clients are coming from. So a common question is, if you're a first client of mine, is, so where are you coming from? Like, where are you from, right? And they'll be like, oh, I'm coming from, last week I had a lot of clients from Don Mills in Eglinton. I know now I'm reaching people by Don Mills in Eglinton, right? I didn't know that before. So just kind of talking with them, maybe doing like a little poll on Instagram on your story. Where do you guys want me? East End or West End, right? Or North or South, whatever.
So most of your clients, they travel to you.
Yeah.
Or they're not people who live in your local area?
So no.
Is it like a bit of both?
So I actually have a good amount of clientele that travels from Scarborough area. But majority of my clients are from the West End, meaning like Mississauga, Brampton. And so where I'm actually, my salon is, I grew up in that area. So everybody knows me kind of in that area. So a lot of people that knew me from young will try me, or if they don't try me, they don't do nails, they'll tell somebody else, oh, my friend, she just opened up a salon, right? I have like a sidewalk sign. Do you know the little things that you put like on the sidewalk with your double-sided? Yeah. I have one of those that helps like catch attention, and then I obviously have my storefront sign. So.
And you're on social media too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm on social media.
Very active on social media. Yeah, exactly. And that's how we found you.
Yeah.
And are there any like resources that you can use professionally? Like, were you using like LinkedIn or like any tools or resources that could kind of help you grow, help you market yourself?
So LinkedIn definitely wasn't.
No.
I'm sorry, guys. But I like how I
found LinkedIn helpful. To be honest, can we be honest?
Yeah.
Is LinkedIn that helpful?
It's more of like a professional profile. It's not really like, and nobody, like, I don't know a lot of people that source on LinkedIn for employees. So
Yeah.
I don't know, they normally go on Indeed or something. But,
I think so.
Yeah, right. But what I can say is that it's a lot of. I watch a lot of people's stuff. So some people be like, I'm not gonna watch her because I don't want her to think I'm copying her. I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch the girl down the street. I'm gonna watch the girl in the States. The girl over there. I'm gonna watch everybody because I can learn something from everybody and put it into place. So I noticed that, like, I learned TikTok trends by just seeing like my competitors in a way, like what they're posting and how much views they're getting. So I'm gonna try it now too. I'm definitely gonna add a spin to it because that's what I do. But I'm going to kind of like, again, be a sponge off of them, right? So that's another way where like you can find the proper like your target audience in a way, is like kind of just seeing like, hey, this video got 10,000 views, so maybe I should morely be on that video. What did I do in that video that is gonna go well? I don't have 1,000, 10,000 followers on Instagram, but I can tell you that Instagram, the followers doesn't really matter because
I think so too.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because I get books, right? And even if you go on my booking site, you might see something, oh, like she has a video. No, hit me up because chances are somebody was DMing me or something like that, right? So social media, don't make the followers, oh, my followers are not going up. Don't make that like really be a big thing. More look at like your viewers, how many people are contacting you, how many people are reaching you.
Yeah.
And
commenting, you know.
Right? And people will say to me, I ask them like, oh, how did you find me? That's another big thing that you need to ask your clients, like, where did you find me? How did you find me? And they're not in a like suspicious, like you think they're like setting you up way, you know, like in a like where I want to know because that's where I'm going to learn from, right? And then people have been telling me like TikTok, discovery page. I said, I'm on the discovery page. I don't really know how to get on this discovery page. So like, no, the explore page on Instagram.
Trending page? I don't know. Can we get a Gen Z input?
Yeah, I don't.
What is she talking about?
I don't know. What is that page? How do you get on that page?
Like the
For You page?
Yeah, no, not the For You page on Instagram. You know the like
Instagram? Oh, the Explore page.
Yeah, is that what it's called, right? Explore?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's when you have like the same interests.
Okay.
So like people that have interest in nails, or maybe it's like, do you put the location? As
Yes, I do.
So that's why you like it pops
And
up to
like
them.
also if some of your followers are in common with other people, you appear them there.
Okay, so that's I'm doing it. Exactly what they said.
Did you outsource like any of the like any tasks, like any marketing tasks? Were you handling it everything by yourself? Because I know like when you go to school, like training, they don't actually give you like business skills or like marketing knowledge. So like what did you do? How did you do it?
So I actually did a lot of like searching on Google. Google girl, that's me. So I went on Google, and during the pandemic, actually, I had a really big struggle with trying to manage my clientele, right? So I wasn't ready for the amount of clients that I was getting because I was doing stuff, and you know, people were hearing about me, right? And for the good reasons, though, right? So people wanted to try me, and my booking site, I was booking people, but then I was booking people through DM. So it was like that's why now it's like I have different systems in place, but like. The biggest thing I can say is to just go on Google, right? And just search up branding online courses. I found that, right? And that course was $29. And I found like little tips and tricks. Also, there's Instagram like pages that you have to be very careful though. And like, don't just see something today and just buy their course today, right? To see something, watch how their flows are, look at their stories, see if you ever see them posting their stuff. Then you can invest in like whatever knowledge that they might want to sell you, right? And another thing is like, for sometimes when I know I'm gonna be busy. My birthday is next week, so I know I'm gonna be busy.
Happy early birthday!
Thank you. So I know I'm gonna be busy. I hired somebody on Fiverr.
Fiverr.
Yeah, I had somebody on Fiverr.
We googled this earlier,
right? So
it's Fiverr.
So I hired somebody on Fiverr to kind of help me with like my branding while I'm gone, and it's literally $6 an hour. I'm paying them $6 an hour. Because they're somewhere in the world. They don't ever have to see me. They're doing it on their computer. They could probably be managing mine, yours, and whoever else's. As long as they do it, that's all that matters, right? So that's another good way too, to kind of help you with your branding and stuff like that.
How did you come up with your name, like your salon name, your brand name?
So my name before, I remember I was letting you know that my name was so long. It was the Dream Doll Nails and Beauty. That is a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Very long on paper. So, and just like, right now it's TDD if I really want to, because it's the Dream Doll House, right? The acronym or the whatever for that is too long. So I literally searched up on Google. Told you I'm a Google girl. I searched up nail salon names. And then I seen Dream. And I thought oh, that's nice. Because it would be a dream for me to have a big business one day, right? And then Dollhouse kind of just fell in 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I rebranded my name, because it's a dollhouse. I wanted to be a dollhouse. I offered, I said, different services like the nails, the feet, which a lot of technicians, they don't offer nails and toes, right? They offer the nails. You got to go somewhere else for the feet, right? Mm-hmm. So I offered the nails and the feet and the waxing. I have a couple other people that if I really needed them, okay, makeup, I can tell them, come into the salon today, work in the salon for these clients and whatever. So it's kind of how I came up with the name, the Dream Dollhouse. I like it. And I have it's so crazy, guys, because I actually have a nail polish bottle and the name Dream tattooed on my skin. And a lot of people would be like, you just tattooed thing, but how I see it is it's a nail bottle. They'll never really, how could you really go wrong? And this will forever be, no matter how old I am, this will forever be a part of my life, right? A chapter of me, right? Even if I do something else in my life, this will be what I started off with. So, yeah, Dream is stuck with me. I got a tattoo now.
Can we see? Do you mind showing us the tattoo? Can we see?
Guys, it's hold on, let me pull it off. So it says Dream. See it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the nail bottle. So essentially, he wasn't supposed to outline it. But he's you have to. So here's the brush for it, the bottle, and then there's Dream right here. And then there's stars, because I want to be a star one day. And that's kind of the part of me. So, yeah, nails is me. And literally people will see me on there and be like, you're the nail girl, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the nail girl.
Oh, yeah. So do you have any words of advice for maybe anybody who's looking to get into the nail industry or the beauty industry in general?
Yeah. So one thing I can say is there's not enough of us. So if you're sitting at home and you're thinking I shouldn't start. Yeah, it's oversaturated. I gotta find something else. But I really like nails. But I gotta find. It's never enough, right? We're gonna get old. The people that are out now are gonna get old. The new people are gonna come in, and it's a cycle, right? And if you are an old nail, a more known nail tech out there, and you see new girls that want to come in, let them in, let the doors in. I always try. One thing about me is I always try to tell people, hey, try it. Why don't you try it? Why are you scared? You're scared? That's my favorite line to people. Are you scared? And they're no. So that's what I can say is just keep trying. It could be nails, it can be whatever. Always just try, and you're never perfect. So never think, oh, I'm not perfect, so I shouldn't start yet, right? If your nails are lumpy, still take clients. There'll be the one thing I know for sure is building clientele and nails. They're very understanding in a certain way, right? There's different clients that are crazy, which I can go on and on about my stories, but for the most part, if you say $25 nail sets, they know that you're a beginner. You don't need to put it in your bio. That's one thing you do not need to put in your bio. If they're $25 nail sets, they know you're a beginner and you're trying to build something. So they know that when they come to you, don't expect top of the top quality. Maybe, but flawless. So don't expect that, right? Mm-hmm. So don't be scared to put yourself out there and kind of build that. And also don't be scared to, let people know hey, I've never tried that before. Can I try it? When you do start nails, people show me designs, and I was telling you about Mickey Mouse. I don't know how to draw Mickey Mouse, but if you really want me to try it and it's gonna look crazy and you're not gonna kill me, I'll try it. So just be like that, Sometimes I might not have the time though to have that. Sometimes people throw designs. I'm like, I wasn't ready for that. I don't think I can do that this appointment, but maybe the next one, right? So there's that.
Handling clients' expectations,
right?
Being realistic with yourself.
Yeah, and never look at your And earlier when I said, like, other nail tech, like, oh, my competitors, they're not really my competitors. Like, we're all in this industry together, you know? So look at, I call them, they don't know I call them that, but look at your other nail sisters and be like, hey, you know, she did this. Like I said, not following, I want to be myself, but kind of, like, get keys off of that, like, you know, and, like, tips and tricks off of that.
Yeah, that's pretty true. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
They're not your competitors necessarily. No. They're like your peers.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I don't know how much time we have left, but that's the thing in Toronto. Like, it's really hard to get nail friends. Like, you know, because a lot of times people think, oh, she can maybe take my client or whatever. But it's not like that. For, like, whoever is with you is with you. If that client likes you, they're going to stay with you. There's nothing I can do chef's kiss nails. They're still going to stay with you, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing is, like, always knowing, being confident in, like, your clientele and knowing that these girls are my girls. I have girls that have followed me. I can call them out, shout them out. Like, you know, from the corner of my living room to now my salon. They're still with me. Like, literally, my client, I used to, like, drop her home sometimes, like, because I would be like, yo, like, I feel bad, like, you know? And because she was leaving late with me because I was taking 4 hours, right? So, yeah, there's always that, too. It's like, and don't be scared when you're taking 4 hours because everybody goes through it. Everybody's been where you've been to get to where you're at, right? To get to where we're at now, right?
Wow, thank you so much. You've had, like, so many, like, cool tips and, like, really great advice. Yeah. So I think, like, it's really motivating to listen to you. Even though, like, I'm not a nail tech, but I feel motivated. Like, oh my god, I want to, like...
Let me try.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being on our podcast. We learned so much from you, and we'd definitely love to have you back. Yeah. So definitely we're going to have her IG linked in the description, and yeah, definitely check her out. She's awesome, and thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you for joining us. No problem. And don't forget to check out our website, LLBAprofessional.com. Can't believe I almost said that wrong.
Yeah, listen.
We've only been here for, like, how long? Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching again. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching us on YouTube or the equivalent on Spotify. So until next time, bye.
Bye. Bye, guys. Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
But you know, I also started getting my nails done when I was 10.
Okay, it's okay. We can cut this part out. Yeah. I'm kind of having, like, a brain fart moment.